Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at which units you should get with your gift cards that you can get during the thank you celebration. So basically we're first going to talk about the gift cards and just talk about which, how you can get them, how many you can get, etc. So this is the Dokkan Thank You Celebration Gift Card 5. And yeah, this is pretty cool. Obviously, it's one of 77 Thank You Special Celebration characters, so it's up quite a bit. You can get up to 7 of these now, which is pretty cool. Basically means you could fully rainbow a unit if you wanted to. And yeah, basically you will get 1 upon login. You will then get 1 upon login for part 2, which, basically occurs between logging in at a certain time. Then of course you also get the exploding gratitude options from the missions, so you can get 2 from missions for part 1 and you can get a gift card from part 2, so you can get 3 from the missions, and then finally you can get up to 2 from the Purunga campaign. So 3 from the missions, 2 from Purunga and 2 from login means 7 in total, so pretty straightforward stuff. If you're wondering where the missions are, they're here and they kind of have to do with completing all of them. So you have to use a lot of stamina and you're going to have to complete a lot of missions to be able to get these cards. Then obviously you can also get some from the Purunga as part of Purunga rewards. I have obviously done a video on the Purunga rewards, which I'll leave in the top right hand corner. But yeah, Purunga rewards obviously fantastic, great way to get a whole bunch of other resources as well, and you can get 2 from these. So that's pretty much it for how to get the tickets and how many you can get. Obviously the next big step is going to be the units themselves. So we'll talk about kind of all the units in general, which ones I'll skip. I'm not going to talk too much about ones that I would skip, and yeah, then I'll kind of highlight what I would do with them. So it will be a little bit of a longer video, so just be prepared for that. I'm going to try and tackle it in typing, so if you're concerned about a certain unit, maybe just skip ahead to where you see me discussing that unit or that typing of that unit. But yeah, I will be trying to touch on every unit at least a little bit, unless I deem them really not worth the time, basically. And not that they're not worth it, just that you're better spending your 7 tickets elsewhere, because every unit has value in some way. But I think obviously we can understand that with 7 tickets and 77 units, I think some are more priority picks than other units. And starting with Super Saiyan 2 Goku Angel, I think he's still a really good unit after his EZA. He's a Goku's family lead, which is always great. He's an AGL typing lead. He can heal you, he creates AGL orbs, he's got a lot going on. He's a little bit aged now, he won't be able to do red zone and things like that, but he's still pretty useful up to the Gods of Destruction events, etc. Dispo, not too great. Fitboo, pretty good. I like him. He hasn't got his EZA yet, so that could definitely happen in future. And he's still very useful. Things like Gods of Destruction event, things like ESBR and SBR. He's got a nice kit that suits shorter events, and suits kind of monotyping events. Caulifla, I think Universe 6 needs a bit of buffs, so I don't really want to suggest picking her. And Cell, to be honest with you, Cell is just kind of like, well, let's discuss Cell a little bit. So Caulifla I wouldn't pick. I think Universe 6 needs some buffs. It's a fun category, but Caulifla, although a great pick, I think isn't going to change your box if you pick her. Cell's great on the Otherworld Warriors team, but he's distinctly very limited for me. As a unit, I find him to be, on paper he looks good, but he just doesn't feel great to use. The Android 17, I think this guy's great. I'm not going to talk too much about him. He's awesome in conjunction with other 17 based units, and he pairs really well with the int character in the selection process here. Bullpan, a crossover category, or heroes kind of unit, or from the DB Fusion games, I believe. She's a very good unit. She is super solid. She's great in a fusion based team. You could definitely pick her, even pick her with Pandel, pick her as part of a Pepe Gals fusion based side, and she'd do pretty well. Golden Frieza, this guy I always suggest this guy because if you don't have him, he's one of the best tanks in the game. And when you take on super hard content like Red Zone eventually, this guy is going to save you most of the time. Yes, there are places where he doesn't do great, but generally speaking, he's pretty good. Then we have the God Goku. This guy's actually still pretty good. I find him to be good on a Realm of the Gods team. Maybe not a top tier choice, but if you want to make Realm of the Gods work, he can be a nice choice. Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, honorable mention for this guy. He's dropped off now a little bit for Red Zone and that, but defensively, he can still get to like 400k defense. He's a very good unit. Takes a while to build up, but he's awesome for like LGE, LGE GT, etc. Super Saiyan Vegeta, great pick for a movie heroes or a Pure Saiyans team. A nice link set along with his EZA being pretty strong. He is definitely, got quite a bit of utility to him. He obviously improves as his health goes down. But his EZA really brought him up to speed, and I actually really like him. I think he's a really good choice, and he's a Super Saiyan Vegeta, so he's got a decent link set. Android 16, the tech one, also a nice choice for an Androids team. Obviously, the consistency will depend on his guard mechanic, whether it procs or doesn't. He can build up to being a decent attacker, but defensively is where he shines. On an Androids team, he can be very strong defensively, and the ability for him to guard means that he can look very impressive. So, Android 16, Super Saiyan Vegeta, very good. I think you could definitely pick them. The Tech Goku, honorable mention again. Maybe a unit that's dropped off now. I think there are better picks here. But Tech Goku does become a Goku's family lead after his EZA, and he's still a very solid unit, especially for beginner players, with an easy Extreme Z battle to complete. Bulla, obviously very recently got her EZA. As a unit, I think she's okay. She's definitely a lot of fun to use. I don't think she's going to carry your team, but there's quite a few good Pepe Gals options here, so you could, in theory, choose almost a pretty decent Pepe Gals team, so I think she's a good choice. Frieza is very similar to Cell in a way, a unit that's very much designed to be on an Otherworld Warriors team. If you have the physical Frieza Angel, you can 100% pick this guy. They make a pretty nice pairing, link set wise obviously being a very good pairing, but also the nice thing about this Frieza is he has damage reduction, so him as a second slot unit can actually be pretty tanky on a full Otherworld Warriors team. So you can definitely look at running him alongside that Frieza. I think they're a pretty nice pairing. Usually I would suggest the Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta, but with the selection of units that are on display here, I think players, even new ones, are better off picking other characters. Trunks Team Future, great addition to any Future Saga team. He pairs really well with the physical Gohan. So if you have the physical Future Gohan, this guy is actually really good alongside him. They share a lot of links, and this guy can get some pretty high defense in that second slot. Jinembu, I think, is a unit that a lot of people have started to appreciate. He really got a good amount of elevation with the Strength Final Form Cooler coming out, the whole transformation boost revamp kind of metric really brought this guy into a new field. He's really good. A lot of people are appreciating him. He stacks attack and defense, he guards, he does a lot that really helps in these super hard events. So Jinembu is honestly a great pick. Obviously he's EZA'd already, but he's a fantastic pick. He's a really good unit that you can use on those specific kind of teams. So don't be scared to invest in them. Karoli is a bit more simple. I don't use Karoli that much, and I wouldn't suggest picking him up, personally speaking. Now Toa is an interesting pick. The reason why I suggest Toa is with heroes coming around the corner, there is a chance that some more crossover units will get easy A's. And so Toa, Demigra, a lot of those units, Mirror, Demi-Mirror, they have a chance to easy A within the next 2 or 3 months. And so picking up 1 or 2 copies of them here could mean you could get a pretty solid team. Vegito, Tech Vegito, and Int Vegito, you'll see both of them, I think, are good picks. Standard, they're not, super broken, but very good. I wouldn't take Super Boo and Majin Vegeta, great AoE unit, but that's about it. If you need an AoE unit, grab him, but yeah. Brianna Deschateau, very good unit, excellent pick, great leader skill. Easy A was fantastic. Honestly speaking, she's one of the top tier picks here. Not only is her Easy A relatively easy, but she herself is very strong before her Easy A. She's just very good. Celza, I don't think is comparable to the other crossover units. He's good, but he doesn't feel as good. Pandel, if you're going to take Belpan, and Hellfighter 17 if you're going to take AGL 17. In Vegito, same as Tech Vegito. Demigra, same principle as Toa. This guy could get an Easy A in the next couple months. Could be very, very good. Honestly, gambling on future Easy A's is always a speculative thing, but considering these guys are really in the general pool, like with a lot of these units, I would always pick up a copy of them. Then Int Vegeta, a very, very good unit. I think him and Strength Goku's Easy A's were super good, and then people kind of forgot about them. But this guy's very good. Get a couple dupes in him and he'll start to look incredible, especially on simple teams like Pure Saiyans, Majin Buu Saga. He can really just shine. The rest of the Int units, not too interested in. Strength Demon King Piccolo unfortunately doesn't get an Easy A soon, which I feel is a missed opportunity. And then we have Strength Piccolo. Strength Piccolo, reason he got his Easy A, he's not only the best AoE unit on this list here, but he's also desperately needed for the one challenge that everyone's using to nuke down Metal Cooler, so I highly suggest taking him. Android 21, one of the better leader skills on here, great Easy A, and there's enough Androids units here to actually use her to construct a team, so yeah, she's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, she's a really good choice still. Strength, a little bit lacking. Majin Vegeta, same principle as AGL Goku. Topo is always kind of a pick that you can suggest to people. He's just a great all-round kind of support. You know, he's a great kind of unit that you can use on a lot of teams. Pan, I think, is fantastic. It's a shame she's not on Pepe Gals, but this Pan is very good. She actually can get to a really high defensive level, and overall she's super duper solid. Barlots, along with the other DB Fusion characters, is a unit that got a pretty nice Easy A. Is he going to carry a team? Not really, but he's still a lot of fun to use. Kulieza, gotta be honest, pretty dope. Kulieza is probably one of the better picks, if not one of the best picks here. If you manage to pull Final Form Strength Cooler, the LR, then Kulieza is going to be a great unit to run. Not only does he work under his 200% leader skill, but he's a support for the Wicked Bloodlines category. So he's a really top tier pick, and a lot of people are going to get great value out of him. Trunks is a crossover unit. He got his Awakening with the last Heroes event, and so I would possibly look out for his Easy A with the current one. His Awakening is still actually very good to this day, and if he gets an Easy A, he could easily be one of the best floating supports for heroes and crossover teams in the game. So Trunks, super duper good. I think he's fantastic as a unit. Strength Goku, similar to Int Vegeta. Unit that's just great. I think his Easy A was overlooked a little bit, and picking him is not a bad choice at all. This guy can get some really good numbers and just be a super solid unit. He's great up to the Realm of the Gods level of things, but he's a really good character. And then here we come to physical, the final typing. Vegeta is very similar to Tech Goku in that he's obviously a unit that you can 100% use as a new player, although I wouldn't suggest him unless you are like a new player desperately looking for a Vegeta's family lead. And then finally we have Kefla, the physical one. She's fantastic. Kefla is a great unit. I think she's very good. Honestly speaking, I think she is worth the investment. And then Whereas, I think Whereas is possibly the best physical option. Whereas is like a top tier unit. His kit is malleable, he creates orbs, he's a double orb changer, he can have evasion, he can guard, he can do so much as a unit. It is so impressive how good he actually is. Then we get to some pretty interesting choices. Chowman, very much like the other crossover heroes, is really good and pretty consistent. I think, he's great. AoE as well, very, very good. A lot of people love Chowman. He's very much an instant impact unit. He's going to impress you. Not great-ish for long events, but he's still pretty solid. A nice unit. And then we have Mira, who very much like Toa, Demigra, I'm kind of speculating, could potentially receive an easy A. So that's a little bit of a speculation kind of thing. Obviously, I can't guarantee they're going to get an easy A. He's still a good unit, actually, regardless of his easy A. One very similar to Trunks, with his Awakening being, very, very, very good. So, he's not bad. He's not a bad choice just because he may not get his easy A. Still pretty solid, a lot of fun, and he's got his own transformation, so I mean, that's always something cool to see. And that's it kind of for recapping all the units. Anyone I didn't recap doesn't mean that they're not good. It just personally means that I don't think they're worth taking over the other units. Obviously, full disclaimer, if you have the other units all rainbowed, don't take a unit that's rainbowed. Pretty pointless. So yeah. So I think starting from the top, I would say Belpan on the AGL side is a pretty good choice. I think Bulla is a pretty good choice in terms of making a Pepe Gals team. I think Ribrianne or Brianna, if you don't have her, obviously a great choice. And then you look at units like Pandel, also will be decent on a Pepe Gals team. So yeah, I would definitely say there's enough options here to make a good Pepe Gals team. You could probably round things out by picking up Android 21, which I think would be a pretty decent pick. And segueing from Android 21, I think you could also probably pick out a good Androids team here. So it's all pretty good. Overall, I think there's a pretty good Androids team here with Android 16, Android 21, Hellfighter 17, and Android 17, the AGL one. I think there's actually a pretty good kind of build that's going on here. I think you could have a pretty decent team, and I think overall you could have a pretty good squad to build a nice and fairly good mid to end game Androids team. Obviously one saw easy aid, but generally speaking I still think pretty damn good. Then from there, I think it's just preference, but I think picking up units like Toa and some of the Dragon Ball Heroes units and crossover units that haven't really, easy aid yet, I think are going to be very good choices. I think those will be units that you can really kind of get behind as investments, units that are going to be pretty good in terms of hey, down the line they're going to be looking pretty impressive, and they could get easy A's fairly soon. Like I said, Dragon Ball Heroes is kind of right around the corner, so it is definitely there, and these crossover units are on the list in terms of units that would probably easy A at some point. So I think that's also obviously pretty damn good and pretty great. And then of course we have units like AGL Golden Frieza, a unit that I think is fantastic. Such a great tank, so awesome. Janembu, who I think really looks impressive on this Terrifying Conquerors transformation boost kind of shtick, I think is really, really awesome. And then from there we have like I say, Brianna, great choice, awesome stuff, really, really nice selection, with just a great kind of easy A that's pretty easy to do. Honorable mentions as always to Vegeta and Goku, who I think are priority picks as well, and Strength Piccolo, who I think is a great pick, and like I said, pretty niche towards being almost required to beat the one Fighting Spirit event challenge. So yeah, overall a pretty good unit. But beyond that, I think that's pretty much everything I would say you need to focus on. My number one pick is probably Kulieza. I think he is the best unit overall, and the team he's on is probably one of the strongest in the game. So I think he really is one of the top units. And then Physical Kefla and Physical Whirus, Both excellent orb changer units that you're going to have a great time using. So if you want to use them, you 100% can. And Chowman, like the other crossover units, always worth the investment. So don't be shy in choosing him. He's great. That's it from me. Bye.